Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. This is William Flynn. Now, I've often seen the disappointment in a woman's eyes when she buries her father. So many of the great novels I've read, the women have wonderful fathers. They have all these memories, going for long walks in the forest, their fathers telling them about every single plant, every tree, describing all the animals, describing the world, describing how the mountain ranges formed, how millions of years ago tectonic action forced up these glorious mountain ranges, and just bringing the world to life, making their daughters feel alive, reading to their daughters, teaching them how to play piano, encouraging them, inspiring them. So many fathers have inspired their daughters so much. Unfortunately, there's a lot of fathers who have just been a total disappointment. I've seen it when a woman telephones her parents' house and the father picks up the phone and there's an uncomfortable pause and he says, "I'll put your mother on the line." But sometimes her mother's sick or in hospital. Sometimes the mother is dead. So her daughter calls up her father because she feels an obligation, she feels she has to. But he has nothing to say. He's got no interests, he's got no hobbies. He hasn't read any books. He's got no comment to make on the world events. He hasn't been canoeing. He hasn't been mountain climbing. He hasn't been bushwalking. He hasn't read any new books. He doesn't ask her about her life. I mean, he might ask some fumbling question, "How's things going with you and your husband?" But he feels obliged to ask that question. It's not coming from the heart. It's not coming from a genuine interest. I've lived with males who, when they had a day off work, they just stumble out to the television and pick up the remote, switch on the TV. Now, I don't watch TV myself, but they pick up the remote, they switch on the TV, and after a minute or two, they'd say, "There's nothing on the bloody telly." And they'd mope about the house for a while, and then they'd say, "I'm going down the bottle-o to get drunk. I can't think of anything else to do." They had no hobbies, they had no interests. They just did nothing. They just drifted. And I've seen these people in the nursing homes when they reach old age. They're just waiting. They've got no hobbies, they've got no interests, they've got nothing interesting to say. They don't keep abreast of world events, they don't shape the world. It's so tragic. They wake up, they have breakfast, and then they just wait. All they're doing all day long is waiting for lunchtime to come around. And then they get excited because lunchtime has come around. And after lunch, they just wait. They're just waiting for the evening meal. In some sense, they've spent their entire lives just waiting. Because nobody's ever told these people that you make your own life. You create your own life. You make your own decisions. These people have just been accustomed to just wait and hope that life distributes bounty in their laps. They've just drifted through life, just accepting whatever drifts past them. So for the love of Christ, take up some hobbies, take up some interests, learn a musical instrument. My great heroes, they climbed mountains, they trekked across the Antarctic, They pushed themselves. They had grand dreams, grand ambitions. Even at the simplest thing, take up wood carving, take up painting. Find some hobby, something to do. Find some meaning to your life so that when your daughter calls you up on the phone, you've got things that you've done, you've got things you can talk about, but also inspire her, lift her up. And you do that by reading about the lives of great men and great women. You do that by keeping yourself abreast of current events. When you read enough inspiring life stories, you'll eventually be inspired to do something yourself, whether that's something for the community, whether that's an act of discovery, whether you want to explore, whether you want to go trekking, whether you want to do a chemical experiment, whatever the damn hell you want to do. Find something to start. Find a way to create a life. And then when you've created a life, when you've got exciting things happening in your life, That will inspire your children, and they'll have exciting things happening in their lives. Whatever you do, for God's sake, make your children proud of you. Anyway, that's it for today. Lastly, let's have a look at a quote from the very great Roman philosopher Seneca. And he says, "Often a very old man has no other proof of his long life than his age." So make your life count. Cheerio.